Alrighty, guys. So with that, let's start reviewing the question number 26 to 30, which is our last session in today's 30 program management question and answer series. So let's look at our next question. How do you lead teams and stakeholders when you do not have direct authority over them, but you are still accountable for program outcomes? This is a very realistic program manager question because program managers often work across functions, business units, vendors, operation teams, and leadership groups. Many of these people do not report directly to the program managers, but their work still affects the program outcome. The interviewer is really asking whether I can influence across organizational lines and build credibility without relying on hierarchy. I would start by building trust first. Trust comes from consistency, transparency, follow through, and helping teams succeed. If people see that I understand their constraints and I'm helping remove blockers, they are more likely to collaborate. Then I would clarify the shared outcomes. People follow more willingly when they understand how their work connects to the program results, business values, and intended benefits. Next, I would create a clear cadence and structure that could include regular workstream meetings, governance forums, race action log, raid reviews, decision logs, and status reporting. The purpose is not to create meetings for the sake of meetings. The purpose is to make ownership dependencies, risk, and decisions visible. When there is disagreement or resistance, I would use data and trade-offs. I would show the impact on benefits, schedule, risk, cost, resources, or stakeholders. This moves the discussion away from opinions and towards consequences. If the issues cannot be resolved at my level, I would escalate through governance with clear options and recommendations. That way, escalation is not emotional, it is decision ready. The key message here is that influence without authority comes from credibility, consistency, transparency, and helping people succeed. A program manager leads through clarity and trust, not just through reporting lines. A vendor is underperforming and putting the program timeline, quality, or benefits at risk. How would you manage the situation while protecting the program and maintaining a professional vendor relationship? This question is testing whether I can manage vendors, contractors, contracts, accountability, and relationship professionally. The interviewer wants to know whether I can deal with underperformance without becoming emotional, informal, or passive. I would start by separating perception from evidence. Before escalating, I need to understand whether the vendor is truly underperforming against agreed expectations. I would review the SLA, milestone, deliverables, acceptance criteria, performance reports, and issue history. Once the performance gap is validated, I would assess the impact on the program. Is the vendor delaying, or is the delay affecting the timeline, quality, cost, critical path, dependencies, risks, or benefit delivery? Then I would hold a direct and professional vendor issue review meeting. The conversation should be fact-based. I would focus on what was committed, what was delivered, where the gap exists, and what recovery is required. Next, I would agree on a corrective action plan. That plan should include owners, due dates, recovery actions, reporting expectations, and escalation triggers. I would also track the issue in RAID log and through governance checkpoints. If the vendor begins to recover, I would continue monitoring until performance is stable. If the performance does not improve, I would escalate through the appropriate commercial or contract path. That may involve extensive escalation, contract remedies, service credits, replacement resources, or an alternate delivery option. The key message is that vendor underperformance should be handled with evidence, accountability, governance, and professionalism. The goal is not to blame the vendor. The goal is to protect the program outcomes, recover performance, and make the impact visible before the timeline or benefits are damaged. With that, let's now move to question number 28. So the question is, share an example of how do you delegate program work effectively, empower team members, and ensure ownership without losing accountability. The question is testing whether I can delegate in a mature way. The interviewer wants to know whether I can empower people without losing control of the program outcomes. A weak answer would be I assign task and follow up. A strong program manager answer shows that delegation is not just task distribution, it is about building ownership, decision rights, accountability, and team capabilities. I would start by explaining the outcomes first. Before delegating, I need to make sure the team understand what we are trying to achieve and how the work connects to the program benefits. Then I would assign ownership based on capability and role. I would use tools like RISI or RAM to clarify who owns the work, who needs to be consulted, who needs to be informed, and when escalation is required. I would also give people room to solve problems. If I delegate properly, I should not expect people to come back at the same time. I want to make sure that the problems are not repeated. I would expect them to bring options, risk recommendations, and trade-offs. At the same time, delegation does not mean disappearing. I would keep regular check-ins, milestone reviews, raid updates, and decision logs. These controls help me monitor progress without micromanaging. If blockers appear, my role is to support coach, remove an obstacle, and help the owner make the right decision or escalate when it is needed. The key message here is that effective delegation creates ownership and builds future leaders. Program manager remains accountable for the program, but empowered owners help the program move faster, solve problems better, and deliver stronger outcomes. With that, let's move to the next question, which is the second last question in our series, question number 29. How do you use AI automation in program management to improve visibility, reporting, risk detection, and decision support while maintaining governance, privacy, and human accountability? A strong way to answer this is to show that I am AI fluent, but still accountable for human judgment. The interviewer is really asking whether I can use modern tools to improve program execution without handing over responsibility to the tool. I would start by saying that I use AI to improve visibility, speed, and consistency. For example, AI can help summarize meetings, extract action items, draft status updates, identify overdue actions, and support recurring reporting. I would also use AI to synthesize information across work streams. In complex programs, there are maybe many updates from different teams. AI can help identify common themes, open decisions, repeated blockers, dependency gaps, and emerging risks. Another use is pattern detection. AI can help surface trends in risks, defects, support tickets, adoption issues, or schedule pressure. This gives the program manager earlier signals before issues become major blockers. For decisions, support AI can help summarize scenarios and trade-offs. For example, it can help compare the impact of delaying a release, reducing scope, adding resources, or accepting a controlled risk. But the final decision still belongs to program team and governance body. The most important point is human accountability. I would always validate AI outputs. I would check accuracy, context, privacy, bias, business relevance before using the information in a report or a decision. I would also follow data governance rules. I would only use approved tools and would not replace confidential program data, stakeholder information, vendor details, or sensitive business content into unapproved AI tools. So the key message here is that AI can accelerate reporting, pattern recognition, and decision support, but it does not replace stakeholder judgment, governance, or accountability. A strong program manager uses AI to improve visibility and speed while still maintaining the control of the program. With that, let's move to the last question of this 30 question program manager interview series. And our last question is, how would you set up governance cadence and executive reporting for a complex program so decisions are made quickly, risks are visible, and benefits stay protected? This is a very strong question because governance is one of the main responsibilities of a program manager. The interviewer here wants to know whether I can create governance that supports the program instead of slowing it down. A weak answer would be, I would schedule weekly meetings and send status report. A strong answer explains how governance creates visibility, decision rights, escalation paths, and accountability at a program level. I would start by defining the governance structure. I would clarify who makes which decision, what needs to be escalated, what threshold holds trigger executive attention, and what information each governance level needs. At the workstream and delivery level, I would track day-to-day progress, blockers, sprint or milestone health, team risks, and action items. This level is more detailed because delivery team need enough information to solve issues quickly. At the risk and dependency review level, I would focus on RAID items, cross-functional dependencies, critical path impact, escalation thresholds, and the CN required. This helped prevent risk and dependency from being buried. At the steering committee level, I would focus on decisions that include change requests, phase gates, financial approvals, major risk, resource conflict, and trade-offs across scope, schedule, cost, and benefit. For executive reporting, I would keep the message concise and strategic. Executives needs to understand program health benefits, budget, milestones, risks, and decisions needed. They do not need every operational details. I would also maintain a decision log so the program does not keep revisiting the same topics. Every decision should have a rationale, owners, date, and follow-up action attached to it. The key message in this question is that good governance should make decisions faster, improve transparency, and protect benefits. Governance should never become a reporting burden. It should help the program move forward with alignment, control, and accountability. With that, thank you so much. And this completes the 30 Program Manager Interview Question Series. The goal throughout this series has been to help you answer like a program manager, structured, strategic, benefit focused, and ready to connect PGMP knowledge to real interview and perform on the job. Thank you and have a great day.
For more content like this, subscribe to the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon.